What is the remainder when 3 to the power 50 is divided by 90? So it's a pretty difficult question, especially because number one, we are finding substantially big power of a prime number, and that is a divisor. And the more important thing here in this question is the denominator. The denominator is 19. When 19 is dividing a number, then the remainders can be anything from 0 to 18. So that's quite a big range for us to actually look at. And since the denominator is a prime number, that also is substantially big number, so the question becomes even more tougher. But anyway, let's just try to understand how to proceed in such a question. The very first step that we should be looking at should be to look at if there is any power of 3 that is very close to any multiple of 19. So any power of 3 means 3 to the power 1 is 3, 3 to the power 2 is 9, 3 to the power 3 is 27, then 81, 243, 729, etc. Is there any number in this range, in this list, which is close to any multiple of 19? If you find some number which is very close to a multiple of 19, then I think that's a jackpot. However, it's a question in which none of these numbers is close to a multiple of 19. You'll have to just test it. So what we do here is we just go sequentially. For example, when 3 is divided by 19, the remainder in this case becomes 3. Let me explain that why. When 3 is divided by 19, it divides it 0 times and then we get the remainder 3. So that's the first step. Now the next step is again quite simple, because when 3 squared, which is 9, is divided by 19, the remainder is 9. Because in the similar way, when 19 divides 9, it goes 0 times and the remainder will be 9. We start facing some trouble from the next step. What happens when the remainder is obtained by dividing 3 to the power 3 by 19? Even this is not too difficult, because 3 to the power 3 we know is 27. 27 when divided by 19, the remainder is 8. Not a problem. What happens when 3 to the power 4 is divided by 19? Then many of us do not even know that 3 to the power 4 is 81. So what you do instead is, to find out the next step, you can multiply the previous step by 3 on both sides. That means I'm multiplying this step by 3 on both sides. On the left hand side, I get 3 multiplied by 3 cubed, so it becomes 3 to the power 4. But on the right hand side, I get 8 multiplied by 3, which is 24. And 24 when divided by 19 gives us the remainder equivalent to 5. Alright, because 24 when divided by 19, the remainder is 5. So that's how we get the next step. That means you don't have to divide 81 by 19. Instead, all you have to do is multiply the previous step by next divisor. That means another 3, because we are going sequentially. I'm going to repeat the same process. That means I'm going to find out the remainder when 3 to the power 5 is divided by 19. So what I'm doing is I'm multiplying 3 on both sides here. I'm multiplying 3 both sides, gives me on the left hand side 3 to the power 5, because 3 to the power 4 times 3 becomes 3 to the power 5. On the right hand side, we have 5 into 3. That means when 15 is divided by 19, the remainder is 15 only. Now here there is another learning for you. This remainder basically tells us that how much do we have in excess for the number to be divisible by the divisor. For example, when we say that 7 when divided by 5, the remainder is 2. That means 7 is 2 more than a multiple of 5. Similarly, we could also say that 7 is 3 short of a multiple of 5. That means there are two possibilities of writing the remainder. One, the positive form, which is an excess form. Or what you can do is, if you subtract this excess number from the divisor, that means 7 minus, that means 5 minus 2, then you get 3. That means we are 3 short. So the short is written in negative and excess is written in positive. EXCESS, that excess. So we have 15 remainder. 15 remainder is 15 excess, or we can write it as minus 4 as well. Because 15 minus 19 is minus 4, the number would have been divisible by 19 if it had 4 extra. That means it's 4 short of a multiple of 19. Now, that's the step we have to use to reach to the next target that we have. Why? Because 5 to the power 10 when we make, then it becomes 50. But minus 4 to the power 10 is difficult for us to think. So what we can do is we can maybe go in sequence. The sequence is, we can simply take power 5 both sides. So what happens by taking 5 both sides? On the left hand side, we have 3 to the power 5 by 19 raised to the power 5. And on the right hand side, we have minus 4 raised to the power 5. That means remainder when 3 to the power 25 is divided by 19 can be calculated by dividing minus 1024 by 19. Now, it's a calculation that we have to get into because it's a difficult question anyway. So let's quickly do this calculation. So 1024 when divided by 19 gives us uh, 95, 7, 4, 19, 4 is 76. So it goes 3 times, or we can say 76 and the remainder is minus 2. So we can say we already had a negative sign 2. That means remainder when 3 to the power 25 is divided by 19 leaves us remainder equal to 2. Now we have to just square it one more time so that we get the answer, and 3 to the power 50 when divided by 19 leaves us remainder 4, and that's what become our answer. That's how we get the remainder. I hope that helps. Thank you so much for watching this video.